Anders, welcome to IMpower. Thank you so much for joining us here. What are you most looking forward to chatting to your peers about here in Monaco this week?
Well, thank you, Emma. It's really great to be here all in person. I'm excited about seeing what the industry's been up to through the last 3 years of lockdown. Technology's moved on, things have moved on from especially from a sustainability point of view, which is my area of focus. So hearing what the focus of the industry is, what some of the technology solutions that are coming out are looking at, some of the data providers, what they're bringing to the table. So excited about hearing innovation and development around.
You talked there about technology moving on, particularly because of COVID. Perhaps that was the catalyst to really rapid change. How do you see the role of data is changed for asset managers and in wealth management and market participants in general?
I mean, the role of data has, if anything, continued to increase. There's been a proliferation of data in terms of types of data, sources of data, and as that's continuing, I think the role that data will play will be on the increase. Technology is obviously a big part of the solution to bringing data together in terms of helping investors dissect that data and get the information out of it that they're looking to get. So in that respect, also alternative sources of data, so unstructured data, continues to be on the rise. So we saw that a number of years back around quant sort of style investing. I think that's beginning to become a lot more mainstream. Lots of raw data, especially on the sustainability side of things, in terms of trying to come up with a source of alpha, an insight that is different to what other providers can help bring to the table, is kind of what a lot of the investors are looking at, what our clients are looking at.
And hopefully that helps to really clarify what the end results are for investors and actually to see how you measure those things if you've got a better take on that data too.
Absolutely. And in that respect, I think the more users of the data and the more mainstream it becomes, and I guess regulation, when we're talking about ESG data, it is helping standardize the data sources so that there's the same types of interpretation of the data when it comes to the core principles of it. But I think where the alternative sources become important is more finding out those other signals that may not be coming out through the data.
So how do you see that has all actually affected outcomes for the investor?
It's affected outcomes in terms of the products that they're putting out. There is an increasing demand for different types of products in terms of on the sustainability side, we're seeing, for example, biodiversity being an angle in that respect. So using those sort of slants on the data side to help deliver insights into what is not necessarily a mainstream type product.
So you're talking there about actual impact on sort of the broader portfolio considerations for investors.
Yes, I mean the other part is that the data is important from a decision support point of view. As investors are looking to get more information that can help them make better informed decisions, be it in active space or be it in private equity space, that where the data is changing is how you make better informed decisions, essentially. So how do you integrate all that data into a process, into a platform that allows you to get full insight into the different types of asset classes you might have? So we've seen alternatives become mainstream over the last 3 years with the low yields that we've been having. So as alternatives become mainstream, there's a need for the broader investment community to be able to access that data. With that demand comes the need for transparency, for example. So I think technology is becoming a provider of elements of that. So we've seen that through the private the private investment area. So broadly across all of the alternative investments.
You're touching there on the need for really sort of solid, useful platforms to enable these new ways of working and managing portfolios. This has really got to be throughout the business as well, hasn't it? From sort of back office through to front office. We've seen a lot in terms of front office, but this has really got to be something that is throughout businesses now.
Absolutely. So it's key that the data provides the insights that the investors need to have in order to run their investment cycle, but it also needs to provide the efficiency. So you need to be able to absorb a lot of data in. You need to be able to translate it and transpose it across your portfolios to provide that insight. And then you need to talk the language for that. And I think from an organizational point of view, if you'll have a one common data source in order to make it the common language of how you share data within the organization from the front office to the back office in a central unified platform, that really changes things.
It must be an exciting time for you, Anders. You must have seen this sort of crazy adoption curve in terms of this over the COVID period, as we talked about with data and all things digital. What are you most excited about now going forward, and what do you want to impart to people who chat to you this week?
So I'm most excited about the role that technology can play, especially in the transition to net zero. The ability of technology to provide solutions to help us in that space, I think, is something that I see as being a unique opportunity in that respect.
I hope you have some great conversations here this week. Anders, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.